Alrighty, yo, what is happening, guys? It is Bazzaa here today, back with another video. Hope you guys are all doing absolutely fantastic. Today, guys, we're back with another COD Zombies video for Cold War. Now, this is a bit of a follow-up from last video, I guess, where we talked about the broken XP rates inside of the Zombies game mode, in particular for solos, but really just over the board in multiplayer and Zombies. People were quite, I guess, frustrated, annoyed, I guess, about how long it was taking for not only your weapon level to level up, but just your level in general. So, good news, I guess, aside from the double XP ending, we have now gotten confirmation that XP earn rates across the game have been slightly increased, okay? So the default XP earn rates have been increased for your weapons and your level, I believe. Actually, I'm not too sure about the level, but they've also addressed the issue where in solo zombies, you are getting next to no XP, and also in the higher rounds in both multiplayer and co-op, where those XP earn rates were getting absolutely slashed at around round 15, 20, and just so on. There was a lot of, I guess, milestone rounds where your XP would just get destroyed, and it was almost useless, and it pretty much was pointless to go past, I would say, round 20 if you're really trying to drag it out there. But most people were just, I mean there were a lot of different strategies, to be honest. Most people were doing the strategy on PlayStation where you go to round 2 and then 3 and then restart and repeat that, because that was the highest XP gain area. And then if you weren't on PC, or even if you just want to play with friends, doing co-op was definitely the strategy to get the most XP possible. And then, of course, playing with PlayStation friends. If you were a PlayStation owner and you could party out with friends, you can get that extra 25% weapon XP bonus. So, with this new patch being out and the XP rates being tweaked, the first test that I did was jumping into a co-op game and starting off with a brand new weapon here, the M14, literally level 1. And I took that in the game and sort of compared how many levels I was getting. So for the first round there, and how much XP I would get in the first 5 rounds compared to when it was the solo XP that was absolutely destroyed. And I can say, yes, it does feel faster, but obviously it is slower than the double XP that we've just had. So it might be a bit confusing when you're comparing these XPs, and it may actually take you a bit of time to sort of get a feel for where the XP is, because this game's been going through a roller coaster of different XP changes. You had the broken XP, just the standard slow XP, and then the XP gain that you'd get from playing co-op with the double XP on. So there's a lot of different things you can compare to. But what I was really comparing here is just the co-op. Okay, I'm playing on PC, by the way. So as far as I'm concerned, I do not get that 25% XP bonus. Okay, that's what I've been hearing. And it doesn't say that I get a party boost active. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not receiving that 25% XP bonus. And this is just a co-op game where I'm simply trying to level up my gun, starting from level 1. So I can tell you I leveled up my gun around once in the first 5 rounds. Now, it seemed to be that I was getting a level every roughly 30 kills for the first 5 weapon levels of my gun, okay? In the first 20 rounds, it averaged out to be around 40 zombie kills per level, which put my gun around level 10, I believe it was, and I had, I think, 240 zombie kills. So from going to round 5 and only getting 2 weapon levels, it definitely was slower without a doubt, comparing it to that 2 times XP that we had just the other day playing co-op. Okay, obviously that is slower, but it is definitely substantially higher than what it was in solo when you're getting next to none XP. Over, say, round 20, you could literally get 1,000 kills and level up your gun once. Now, we all know it still seems to be the current idea that the lower rounds give you more XP. Even though Treyarch seemed to, I guess, say that they fixed the higher rounds for getting XP levels, I found that still after around, I would say 35 is where my weapon levels really dropped out. Now, I'm going to read you some notes here that I took. So I was playing on round 35 and 36, and my weapon level had just reached level 30 at the end of round 34, okay? So going into round 35, my weapon had just reached level 30, and by the end of round 35, I had gained half of that level in one round, okay? So round 35, I had gained half of my weapon level XP for level 30 on my gun. Sorry, and there's a lot of 30s here. It can be confusing. But basically, for round 35 and 36, I got one level for my weapon. Now, personally, I still feel like that is a little bit slow and just not rewarding enough, considering the fact it definitely did drop off from after round 20. And if that continues, I wonder what you'll be getting at round 100. Now, what you're seeing here is an XP test I did playing from round 1 up to 38, where my gun started at level 18 and I got it to 31, okay? So from levels 18 to 31, from rounds 1 to 38. So I leveled up my gun, I think was at 13 times. Yeah, 13 times in 38 rounds, going from level 18 to 31. So look, it was starting at a little bit of a higher level, but it still wasn't nothing crazy. So take that for a grain of salt and consider the fact that this was co-op and we were using narc strategies. So it took us around about an hour and a half to do that. So in that aspect, I think it's okay. But I don't know, I feel like it's still a little bit slow. Like, it's not terrible, and it is definitely better than what it was. But my main concern is, how is this going to be at the higher rounds? Because I still felt like the XP dropped off, and I just don't know if it's still going to be rewarding to go to, say, round 100, okay? Because it seems like Treyarch just don't want us to go to round 100, and I don't know why Treyarch can't really implement a system where, say, if I get to round 100, I would receive the same amount of XP as if I was to go to round 30, say 3 or 4 times to get a weapon maxed, okay? I just don't really see why they can't balance out the time, and I understand they don't want people to have a mad advantage if they're going to round 100 and earning the same amount of XP at those high rounds where there is way more zombies. I get that. So if they can scale and make a system that scales both the low round progression and the high rounds, making it still worth it to go to around 100 if you don't want to keep restarting your game, because I think that's simply just annoying. If that's a strategy, that is stupid to have to keep restarting your game. I think everyone can agree with that. You shouldn't have to do that. You should just be able to play for as long as you want and you get the right amount of XP given, and that it sort of stays fair in some way, that you're not at a huge advantage, because obviously it's PvE. We understand it's going to be easier to get zombie kills than it is multiplayer. So just some of my thoughts. It's definitely improved for sure, but I do feel like it still could be increased a little bit more. But with very little testing, it's impossible to have a, I guess, broad answer for all the game modes, all the different situations, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Mine's been Bazzaa, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Peace out, and bye-bye.